got destroyed on Shark Tank. What now? Hey all. A Dragon's Den Shark Tank clip of mine recently just got posted online by the network's YouTube channel, and let's just say I got torn a new one by the Dragons. Based on my estimate, it's going to rack up 200k people watching it. It's going to be online forever. Unless I try to ask them to remove the clip. I'm not operating the business I pitched anymore, because the clip was recorded years ago. But my current business may be affected. Really in a dark place right now, and appreciate if you can help. Edit, I put Shark Tank in the title instead of Dragon's Den, so more US people will know what I'm talking about. They're both the same type of show. The worst is knowing my friends or family will find out about it and it will go viral in that circle. Link to episode. Don't sweat it, you can just say you learned from the experience. I doubt they will take it down, that's why you sign all the release forms. And it won't fly in court. By suing them you might even get more attention on yourself when you make it on a top 10 Mojo video. How I would handle it if this were me: create a website that people can find when they search for my now closed business. Admit on the website how big of an idiot I was when I pitched that idea. Then transition to a soft sales pitch promoting my current business using a humbling story of how I went from a young, stupid and defeated kid to a battle-hardened, determined and ultra-focused entrepreneur who's helping people. Basically, exhibit humility and paint myself as someone who got their butt kicked, but worked hard to rise up from the embarrassing and humiliating defeat dished out by big bad corporate billionaires. Everyone likes an underdog. As far as it affecting your personal relationships, is it really that big of a deal? Anybody you would want to be around should understand that everybody makes mistakes and has failures, so people in your life should be understanding. 200k people isn't much in the grand scheme of things either. As far as it affecting your career, as long as you have a solution to a problem, nobody should care about your past failures. It's like the part in where MJ talks about the cancer cure. No one cares if the guy who invented the cure for cancer failed out of 6th grade. All they want is a solution to their problem, and they would be a fool not to use it based on the person's history. If the set of 200,000 people who watch that video refuse to ever buy from you, great, just sell to the remaining 39,999 sets of 200,000 people on the planet. It helps you narrow your market. If you could somehow alienate all 8 billion adults on the planet, you would still have over 350,000 people per day reaching adulthood. Market to them. At the same time, the alienated people are dying at a rate of 155,556 alienated angry asses per day. Slavi. Sic transit gloria mundi. I've never heard of Dragon's Den. I wouldn't click on a link to something by that name under any circumstances. I probably buy more stuff than the average person who is hypnotized by Dragon's Den. Millions of other people like me, who could care less about Dragon's Den, exist. There is hardly a problem here. Take it in stride and get back to work. It's basically Shark Tank. Assuming you did not invent a machine that shreds puppies, your reputation will be that you competed on Dragon's Den and did not win. What's the reputation of the 200k people that watched the clip? That they stayed at home and watched you on TV? You already did more than most of them ever will. If anyone says anything, just remind them failing is part of the process for succeeding. People whose opinion you should value are going to congratulate you for taking action. Are you the bread guy or the hair extension gal? I'm going with the hair extension lady. No matter who you are, if you are worried about something this silly, I think you have a deeper problem than this show. Having had some experience with the limelight, I can tell you this. No one cares and it won't affect you in any meaningful way other than how you let it affect you on your own. Don't read the comments, it's tempting, but just don't. Nothing to be gained by giving attention to the special people from hell who write bad things about you, or at least give it a few months so it will emotionally blow over for you and you'll have a laugh at the trolls you went to swing for something. Even though it allegedly burned, that's more action than 99% of those idiots you now worry about have ever done in their life. I will finish off with a recent scandal that broke at a local funeral home where a popular news show of investigative journalism exposed some nasty practices at a funeral home with how the bodies were transported. Looking at it, one might assume those guys are now toast. In reality, somehow the market mind responded and their business actually grew 2x after that devastating hit. So you never know how it goes. Anyways, laugh it off. If it doesn't bother you, then others won't care. Bring it up yourself if needed to have a laugh, and you will instantly neutralize any negative effect. The reaction for that is 100% in your control on how you respond to it. Since it's happening to you, you think others care, but they really don't. Might get a 5 minutes laugh at your expense and that's it. Cheers. Honestly, even if I got torn a new one and anybody in my close circle, if they are in my close circle, they wouldn't do that anyway. But let's go with it, or outside of it, to say anything about it I'd simply be bitch. How many times have you made it to King Shark Tank? I don't care if your idea was silly or just not worth it to them. Also, I don't think suing works. I'm going to assume when you participate you sign something that says we can use your image however we like. Haha, Allah the Prophet. Just stay away from that video, and don't even read the comments. They have to churn out content constantly, so I'd think it's gonna be behind more content soon. This is not a reflection of you, your capabilities, your intelligence, you could think of. Also, 200k views is nothing in today's day, and I honestly haven't seen any Shark Tank video go viral, bad or good. It's not what people share in their feeds. Haha, look at this guy's ROI isn't the most interesting thing to hit share on for the average people. I think you should post the video for our analysis. Any form of PR, including bad ones, is good. I don't think people care, and people have way too limited processing power in their minds to remember stuff like this. Otherwise, there may be advice from this author. Never read the book or seen his videos on YouTube, but heard it's helpful. Take it from someone who is being publicly shamed at the moment that it's good press to and will drive your market. In the famous words of Grant Cardone, go out and get you some haters. Haters sell. It stings a bit to have people flame you, but entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. Yeah, I've failed more times than people have even tried. It's only your ego that cares about this stuff and how you look. Will I look silly, etc. Jump back on the horse and keep cranking out the business process. Try again, be better next time, keep failing until you get it right. There is no such thing as negative attention. Someone just used it to become the most powerful man on planet Earth, literally. Oh, and the current UK Prime Minister did the same thing. Maybe there is a thing or two you can learn here too. There are people on YouTube literally killing themselves trying to get that much eyeballs on them, and here you go, getting them, and you do not want it. Okay. I was curious, if this is what you are talking about. I think you did just fine, and that Dragon's Den labeled that video with a BS clickbait title and a libelous embezzlement hashtag. Running a business to pay yourself is your decision because it is your business. If this is indeed you, I wouldn't worry one bit. I don't reckon this is the op. This guy got investment, and he hardly got torn a new one. My guess it's this one below, filmed much longer ago, seeing as James Caan is still in it. I wouldn't worry about it anyway. Lots of people get torn a new one in the den. Chill and move on. If it's the first result when people search your name, then it's an issue. If not, then you'll be fine. I don't think this can be the one either. He said it's likely to rack up 200k views. This one already has over 2 million views. Without having seen the clip, here's what I think I would do in your shoes. I'd rewatch the clip and note a few key things they were right about and make my own video with a very similar title, talking about lessons learned and how your experience there and maybe a few later lessons informed your later business ventures. I would not position this as any kind of rebuttal or defensive message, but with a kind of we all make mistakes in the early days and here's how I grew and learned from that, with maybe a wry comment about something along the lines that anyone who would like to learn from someone else's mistakes and try to shortcut the process can join the 200k people who have already watched you get your ass handed to you on television in the year clip over at Dragon's Den. Certainly to see the video would help to have a real idea of the alleged damage you could suffer on your other ventures or your image as an entrepreneur. Lacking information, I agree with our friends that said that it is good to have tried and just be selected to pitch the dragons or the sharks is a nice badge on your lapel. Regarding the possibility of a lawsuit against them, it is very unlikely that you would succeed, having assumed that whenever you agree to appear on those shows you sign contracts that not only authorizes the release whenever they see fit but gives them absolute rights of all the content generated through your presence there. The only facet you could potentially address is if the video is maliciously edited intended to put you in a bad light. Very difficult to prove and a very high bar to jump in order to portray a valid claim. Having said that, congratulations on having the courage to put yourself there and on creating a product worthy to be pitched to the dragons. That is way more than most people can say about themselves. If your circle punishes you for that, it is time to draw a new circle. Chin up. Move forward. Only couch potatoes will care. The type of people who jerk off to their favorite gurus or sports team. Real entrepreneurs have their own failures, aka awakenings. They only judge those who stay asleep. Real entrepreneurs live their own life instead of focusing on you. Customers only care if you solve their pain. Unless you have a reputation for lying. Literally no one has the attention span to care. I can't remember more than a handful of people from Shark Tank. My memory is 99.9% percentile. I remember things from elementary school like they're nothing. Yet Shark Tank episodes I don't remember. Thanks so much for your replies, guys. I can't DM people yet as I'm a new user, but I'll send the clip privately to a couple of you soon. Maybe some of you can DM me first, I don't know. It's tough. I'm going to feel paranoid that people know who I am when I go out now. Then again, people will probably forget. Even if someone does know me from it, I don't mind. They edited the heck out of it plus turned 3 hours into a short clip. Really appreciate all of your help. I'll DM you, please send me the clip. That's how this shows work. They already have an image created for you and they edit the clips to portray you in whatever character they already have planned for you. Look up the Streisand effect about wanting something withdrawn and simultaneously creating more interest. Hope it helps you on your journey. The above quotes are spot on. Unless you live in a small village, whereby everyone has watched that episode, it is very doubtful that you will be recognized. There are YouTube personalities out there with millions of hits per video, and they could walk past you or I without so much as a flicker of recognition. I'm in the UK as well, London, and I also have an excellent memory. I can remember details from chemistry lessons 30 years ago. Yet the only Dragon's Den person I can remember is the guy who had the treadmill built into the armchair, and I don't actually remember his face, just his hilarious product. So yeah. Don't sweat it. Don't overthink too much. Unless you are super famous and rich, there is no such thing as bad publicity. Even the worst Shark Tank participants is still better than many entrepreneurs. To me it is an accomplishment. I wouldn't worry. I used to watch Dragon's Den and there were obviously a lot of good ones, bad ones and funny ones, but I can barely remember what any of their businesses were, let alone the people pitching them. Dude, no offense, but you have to toughen up your skin. Especially in this entrepreneurial game that we're in. Needn't I remind you that ours truly, MJ, failed 10x in previous businesses, and admittedly 3x in the MLM field. If a video of him pitching an MLM popped up, would it change my opinion? Answer is no, due to the value his books have added to my life. Now be the same way. And since you put the word circle in brackets, if you do have an keeping up with the Joneses attitude, you might want to work on it as well. What Shark Tank? What I want to say, I read about Shark Tank never before I met this forum. So what? Don't take it too seriously. Kinda what I was thinking. You might be able to use this to your advantage. Exactly how? Not sure. Hey Kak, thanks for your help. I'll send you the actual 10 minutes clip. It won't let me DM you though for some reason. Could you DM me please? Hey, as I told you recently, I just happened to watch the clip yesterday. I must say that you are worrying in vain. Not only is not as bad as you think, but actually proves that you were a successful entrepreneur, able to raise capital, build a brand and create value. You can show you are even better now. Congratulations. By the way, the name was perfect. Best of luck, my friend. This should never bother you, and here is why. From a Dragon Den fan 1, the number of people come to demonstrate their ideas each episode is too much to anyone to remember who they were. 2. The focus is on the business, not the person. 3. I never lost respect to anyone who fail because I know these investors only want winners. The only time I hate the presenter is when they try to scam them, like the yoga instructor who she will brainwash the dragons to accept her office. She looked really stupid and naive. Continue your life and don't care about that episode. My main concern is that I come across naive or unprofessional or incompetent in my Dragon's Den episode. I am still considering gently asking them to politely remove the name from the video description. Maybe they'll give leeway to that if I contact them via phone or email. I've seen it before. Put a comment in the comment section saying it's you in the video and where you are today explaining things. People will probably be interested and supportive. Nobody cares really. Having an embarrassing episode on an own brand business channel is much better than having no publicity. It is either harmless or a huge plus. I think you are overthinking this. People get shoot down like morons in Shark Tank all the time. I would put my money in the worst Shark Tank candidate than a first-time entrepreneur or someone I do not know a lot. The business were vetted before and are of certain quality. You cannot just start a business for 2 years and expect to get into the tank. To be there itself is an achievement. I was once publicly shamed by a client in front of other customers of mine, in my office. I made a mistake and the client lost his mind, came to the office while I was in meetings and he humiliated me in front of everyone. Yes, I was ashamed for a couple of hours, but I moved on because frankly, nobody cared except me. We're the protagonists of our own life, so everything that happens, even the smallest of things, we blow way out of proportions thinking we are being watched by everyone. But thing is, everyone else thinks the same thing. Everyone is so lost in his own mind nobody actually thinks about you after the fact. Use the video to drive sales to your current venture. Make a blog post, website and social media posts and turn it to a pitch. Your worst defeats can be turned into your greatest success. Don't sweat it. People have short memories and celeb, even if you think you sucked, still impresses people. It can't be anywhere near as bad as Gerald Ratner and he is still going strong as a keynote speaker. You'll get over it. It will hit your ego much worse than your pocket. And anything that humbles us has a habit of building our character and strengthening our resolve. You should learn a new high-income skill. Not giving a shit. Wasn't failing a mandatory part of the fast lane journey? Lot of great replies in this thread. My take on stuff like this is that it feels like a huge deal to you, so it must be a huge deal for other people too, right? Wrong. Nobody really cares that much about you, other people, and especially people on TV. Folks are way too worried about what other people think of them to be aware enough to care about others. If you can accept this truth, you open the door to a much more liberated world where you are allowed to make mistakes, do things outside of the collective norm, or if you like, script, and be who you want to be. Just my two. I love Dragon's Den. Congrats on getting on. I won't be able to be of much help unless you need help with Facebook or social media, but if you're comfortable sharing, I'd love to see the clip. Well, being established that you have nothing to worry or be shamed about, let's ask some questions that we want to know. It is really a cold pitch. The sharks don't know about your company before you appear, or are they briefed before? Do they tell you what happens if you are not accurate in your depictions? How long do the pitch last? Do the sharks talk to you off air? This must be the video Up is talking about. Read the comment sections on YouTube. Just a reminder that Doorbot was told to kick rocks. Post the video or don't ask for advice. I saw the clip. Up has nothing to worry about. Seriously? It was no big deal. Nothing to see here. A failure. Yes. But entrepreneurs fail forward. An embarrassment? I personally don't think so. Anyone else would be bragging if they ever got to Shark Tank. Not any Tom, Dick or Harry can just show up there with a business idea. When you are pitching and selling anything, getting destroyed is a way of life. Just pitch and sell more, you will get used to it. Was it this one?